Today we're going to take this coffin-shaped Santorini and this sparkly black nail powder and make a fun little spooky season treat for my nail technician. I'm going to start by creating a very thin line around the front of the coffin along the edges with just a fine line paintbrush, and then we're going to create some designs down off the side after this. Ever since I showed you guys a preview of the spooky season stuff showing up in Michael's and these coffin Santorinis that I found in my stash, you've been wanting to see what I'm going to do with them. So this is the first design I'm going to use. After I get these thin lines on the top, I'm going to take a chalk pencil and go along the sides of the coffin and just give myself some guidelines for kind of a drippy look. I'm going to use the black paint and I want it to look like there's something dripping off the side of the coffin. So I'm just giving myself some guides, and then I'm going to come back in with the same paintbrush and some black paint and just fill in all of those drips so it looks like it's coming, kind of an ooze coming off of the side of the coffin. And I still want to make sure that some of the stone itself is exposed because Santorinis are so pretty, and this is nice and thick. So this is just going to be a black and white design, the white being the Santorini stone. I usually don't start painting spooky season this early. It's about mid-August, but I'm really in the mood this year. And since I found these coffins, I've been kind of itching to use them because I actually forgot that I had them. I bought them a year or two ago, and so I've been itching to use them just because they're so cool. And sometimes with these special Santorinis, especially the shaped ones, I like to give them as gifts just because they're kind of cool and special. So I thought this would be fun. My nail gal absolutely loves spooky season, and I've had some fun designs from her the past few years, and one of them I think was last year before we went to Disneyland. I got some really cool, really bright purple nails, and they had a drip kind of like this in black polish that was kind of cool. So that's kind of where some of the idea came from. And I'm actually considering doing a craft fair in December. My cousin is putting one on as a fundraiser back home for a historical society, and there's no fee to be a vendor, so that's kind of a low barrier to entry. If you don't have to invest any money, you just have to show up. But she really wants me to come and sell rocks, and I'm kind of conflicted because I've never sold my rocks before. I've always given them as gifts or, hid them in the community. But I think that I might do it, and it feels kind of blasphemous. I don't know why, but I think I'm going to do some special themed rocks for that area that would be neat and probably a little too special to just hide. So maybe some Santorinis, some mandalas, we'll see. But I think I'm going to give it a try. So that means I have a few months to come up with, I guess, some inventory to take with me, and whatever I don't sell, I can hide, right? I'm not looking to make a ton of money, but I think it would be fun to be part of it, and you donate something to the raffle as part of I guess that's why there's no fee to be a vendor, and it's just a nice little small town craft fair. So I think I'm going to give it a try, venturing into new territory. And speaking of venturing into new territory, you have seen me use the chrome nail powders on the rocks. That was a trick that I learned after my nail gal used them on my nails. And I got some new powder that is actually really sparkly. So it has like chunks of glitter in it versus the kind of shiny chrome powder that I've used before. So this is going to be a new experiment that we're going to try. So I'm going to take the gel top coat and a disposable eyeliner brush, and I'm going to just kind of fill in all of our drips and that edge that I created along the coffin. And I do have a little bit, you'll see a little bit of liquid in there. In that little paint palette, that's alcohol to rinse the brush off in between the gel top coat. That's kind of how you keep your brush from getting too globby and clumpy. So I'm just going to put this gel top coat on first and then cure it in the UV light, and then we're going to try and put some of this sparkly black nail powder on here to really give it some fun shine. So I just put it in the UV light for about 60 seconds, and then I took it out, and I've got this sparkly powder here, and I'm going to try and dust it on with the eyeshadow applicator like we did with the chrome powder, and I discovered it doesn't work. And then I remembered when my nail gal used this sparkly powder on my nails, she actually put it on while the gel top coat was still wet, so not curing it, and you just kind of have to like sprinkle it on, I guess. So I'm going back in with the gel top coat without curing it, and now I'm going to sprinkle this sparkly black powder on here, and I'm doing it over a piece of paper so that I can collect the excess. I'm going to tap it off the best I can, and then I can collect that excess, I guess it's almost like glitter, and put it back into the container so that I'm not wasting it. So just anywhere that I see it's missing, I'm kind of going over it and sprinkling it again, and then I'm going to put it in the UV light and let it cure for at least 60 seconds, and just keep repeating that process all the way around the edges until we've got everything all nice and sparkly. So this is a little bit different than the chrome nail powder. I would say it's a little messier. The glitter gets kind of everywhere, but you can contain most of it and get it back into the container so that you're not wasting it, which is a plus. And then I did have a little bit of overage where it just wasn't quite a smooth line, so I'm taking my nail drill. So these are all kind of tools that I have gotten after sitting in Sammy's chair. So Sammy is the name of the nail tech, same as Sammy my son, but it's Sammy a girl. And the nail drill has been one of my favorite tools for cleaning up lines like this, and since it's a little chunky with that gel top coat under there, it works perfect. Now I'm going to take a chalk pencil and line out the words "nailed it." So I thought this would be fun for her to keep in her salon if she wanted to, but I'm going to do "nailed it," and then I'm going to thicken up all of those letters and then kind of put some little notches on the edges of the letters just to give them a little more character. I forgot to mention that I was using a Posca PC1MR black paint pen for those letters, and I'm going to keep using it, and I'm going to add some spider webs onto the top and the bottom corners of the coffin. So to make a spider web, it's actually way easier than you would think. You just kind of have to start at a point and put some lines radiating out like I did, and then you put scallops. I would almost say U-shaped, but U-shaped seems too shaped. But the scallops are going in a downward motion, and you just add those in between all of those lines going all the way across, and you create a really fun spider web. So I'm going to have it from this top corner and just kind of ease it out, and then from the bottom corner I'm going to do the same thing. Just create those outward lines and then those little scallops starting from the innermost corner of the spider web, and then just gradually going out, and the scallops get a little bit larger as you go further out between those original lines. So after making this rock, now we need to see, am I going to get stuck in spooky mode, or will I intersperse some other things too? But I love how this turned out. Super fun gift. She loved it, and I hope you got a little inspiration too. Thanks so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.